Yo, Monday, the 6th of January. Um, Fucking weird day today. Started off with a pretty wank trade in London, to be honest. Shouldn't have taken it. I'll go over it, but yeah, shouldn't have taken it. It was just retarded. I used my lightest size, thank God, but journaled it, won't happen again. And then in New York pre-market, took the same trade as Justin, made a very good trade, banked a bit, but I was one tick off banking even more. But it happens, it's minor, not thinking about it. There's always going to be more opportunity, so yeah. The initial long I took in London was obviously I traded one. Why can't I barely hear myself? One trade London, one trade New York, and I needed this 4 hour to close before I could validate this being the high. One thing you want to do is if there's a big imbalance like this, but obviously it's a 4 hour, so you don't want to wait. I mean, you could technically wait till you're up here for it to close, but what you can do is zoom in, and I haven't drawn it out, but essentially in this big 4 hour, there was a 5 minute. If there's a fair value gap like this, say this is a 4 hour, either you're looking for buy or sell, whatever it is, say you're looking for buys, there'll be a small fair value gap up here at the top, and more time than not, if it closes above this smaller time frame imbalance in the bigger one, that's more indication that this is going to close above. Similar with shorts, you'd want to close below this, and that validates that this bigger time frame is. So if we're whatever, how do I draw this? If this is the imbalance, actually no, technically the opposite way around. Anyway, yeah, I did that. We closed above the 5, so I'm like, right, we're bullish to the high, so I looked for a scalp, and this is where I made the mistake. So initially I'm just looking for any sort of fair value gap, sweep, SMT, some sort of buy model. Now, this is so I saw these equal lows, and I was like, right, I want these to get swept. Come up, create this high, create this 2 minute, so I'm just observing this 2 minute, and we wick it. I'm like, right, let me zoom in a bit. So we zoomed into the 1 minute. I was like, okay, we have an internal low here which got swept, and there's something going on down here, so I zoomed in even more. One thing when taking small time frame models is that they work the exact same. It'll just be stopped out or TP quicker, that's essentially it. And so at this point I'm looking at this hasn't happened yet, so I'm looking at this. I'm like, right, there's relative equal lows here, and this is where my mistake was, because you never want to take a trade around equal highs or equal lows. Like, dead ass. But then I don't know what I was thinking in the moment here, but essentially we had this 2 minute which we were holding. I like this sell side liquidity sweep, and if this was any other time frame, like a 4 hour, and we come down, we're holding, say this 2 minute is say a 30 minute, and we swipe liquidity, then we swipe internal like this, run up through this big fair value gap here, which is 15 second, and we get a change in state. I would expect this to be the draw, and then obviously target higher. So I waited, I was patient, waited for the pullback to the 15 second change in state, 15 second fair value gap, waited for displacement up. We get displacement, I'm expecting this to be the draw. This is my fair value gap entry in here. Tight stop, good risk, and then I'll have the draw. I think my break even would have been like here. And then we just completely dumped down to the equal lows. Looking back, it's obvious why this happened, is equal lows. And what's even worse is this was with SMT as well. So this was the actual manipulation move to go here and then the draw. So this first trade essentially was, the model just fundamentally was wrong. The fact that there was equal lows here means that you can't take this. This does look good, but what this is, yo, I'm recording, chill bro. Yeah, fundamentally the model is wrong. And all this is doing, this high, is just generating liquidity. Same with this low, we're just generating liquidity for there to be the actual move, which was this. the fact that I lost small is very lucky. I got very lucky with this trade because it was London and it's low volume, and I used my lighter size. Just the combination of it meant that I didn't lose much. But this should never have happened. If this equal lows get swept by this, or if this gets swept without SMT, this model is absolutely fine. This is a perfect model. But with this equal lows, it's just a complete void. So, yeah, not a good trade. Not proud of that. But that was my one trade for London. Stepped away, went to the gym, and then came back for New York. So first things first, I see that we're retracing to this daily, and there's a liquidity level inside of that, which is here. And yes, it's the same thing. Sorry, it's fucking messy as fuck. But yeah, daily fair value gap, buy side swept. Now I'm just observing here. I'm just looking at what's gonna happen. This is where I got fucking NQ swept, but MNQ didn't. I can't believe this as well, because I'm fucking de-risking at the moment. So I'm using way lighter size just to build up capital. I normally trade an NQ. I normally have like, you know, if I was on my full size on this position, I think I worked it out. I would have built like a 2-3k day. But like, what if like all that shit that isn't real? What's real is that I didn't hit my TP and it went to equal lows on MNQ, and that's just how it is. So it's not deep, but it is just fucking comical. Anyway, we swipe by side here. I saw Justin had an interesting model in his entry for this. And then he had a weird buy model, which I didn't agree with. I saw a trade with James mark this as 5-minute change in state, which it definitely is after we had this manipulation. But then once we come up and swipe the objective, which is this high, this 5-minute change in state is no longer valid. And then we flip bias. So then I zoom in, I see this SMT get put in place in a bigger time frame imbalance, swept buy side. We have resting sell side below, which is here and here. We swipe buy side, so then your change in state would be down here, but then come up, come down, manipulate again, swiping more buy side. I call this internal because it's not really a proper swing buy side. This is like an internal high. We have 1 minute change in state with all these 1 minutes being formed here. I actually do have the live trade. Either check my TikTok or I might put it in here in the video. I'm not sure. I'll probably just leave the TikTok because the live trade is just me entering and then it just dumps, and it's on my TikTok, so it's chill. This is more of a review of it. You come back, hit the 1 minute change in state, fill these 1 minutes. My stop's initially at this high. So I get filled about here because I had nice limits. Stop at the high. TP1 is here. TP2 is here. Now I would have even liked to see lower. I was waiting for this 5 minute change in state, which we did have, but then because we had the manipulation like in a bigger time frame, I just wasn't aware of that because I didn't check NQ and I just saw this as equal lows, so it bugged me out a little bit. But we just completely dump, hitting my TP1, but stop to break even, and I didn't get filled. Looking back in terms of how I could have managed this exit better, okay, realistically, I check NQ, it swept it, I just completely full bought, get out of my position, just flatten it all. That is what I should have done. Obviously I wasn't aware of this, so my stop, this is so fucking annoying. My stop was kept at break even and we just chopped and rallied up to here. And what the trade would have been is SMT. This is the trade Justin should have taken in my opinion, is once we run through this fair value gap here, then we go to this high. Not, he was taking some bullshit in here with some targeting this internal high. I don't really know what Justin did there, but I don't agree with it. But yeah, I did try and scale as well because I thought this was equal lows. We opened up this 1 minute. On this 15 second, we had SMT, and I was looking to scale here. I actually didn't, luckily, but what you could do is scale and just move your stop. It's interesting why I didn't scale, because if it was equal lows, that's a perfect scale point. I think it's because it was right at. No, I think it's because my TP1 had already been hit, and I didn't want to scale in. Let me show my executions here. I didn't want to scale in when my TP already been hit. Another thing I did wrong is I only took off one at this first TP, so I could have banked maybe 400 at this low, but then because obviously I didn't get filled, I didn't exit. We just ran up and got stopped to break even, but that was more positions that I took off. So yeah, I could have taken off more cons at this internal low and then only left runners here. But yeah, and then once we get this SMT in place, another thing I've set is I've set this new trade limit on Top Step, but it's kind of fucked for when you're trying to scale. It kind of stops you if you've already taken a couple trades, so I need to like play around with that. But yeah, once Southside's taken SMT here, and once we run through this 5 minute, 1 minute, this is textbook. Now I saw James say he didn't know what to do, or he didn't know about targets once this high gets taken, because there's a daily fair value gap. What you do is either put everything resting at this high here, so you don't have to worry about any sort of targets, and you take what you're given, or you do consequent encroachment of the fair value gap, which is somewhere up here, which is where Justin did his. Now it's a bit botchy, and it's a bit like just consequent encroachment of a fair value gap. Like that's just like, I don't know, it sounds so fucking matrixy, but it is just a target, and it is just a thing you can do when, like, I've had this experience before when I've been in a situation where I've had to take a long and there was nothing above me. There was no liquidity apart from like extremely high, where it's like obviously not going to go there and it's smooth. And yeah, targeting consequent encroachment is a nice TP. It's just, yeah. But no, that was everything for today. 2 trades, 1 loss, 1 win. I'm de-risked at the moment. I think I'm going to pick up my size in a bit. I want to build this account to, I don't know, once I get to say 12, 13k, I think I'll start, having some bigger days, but because I'm taking 30% each month of the balance, I need to make sure that the scaling makes sense. If I'm taking 30% and then it's not aligned well with how my trading's going, I'm just going to lose over time. So yeah, starting off this year with light size, and yeah, now let's go into the draw for tomorrow. Let's check news firstly. Okay, 7:30, so this will affect when I trade at 8, 9:30. So I trade 8 till 10, so this is kind of all in my trading. And then obviously New York, so 3 p.m. Okay. Nice volatility there. Right, zooming out. Weekly still holding. Let me just redraw in my SMTs, so I just get an understanding of where we want to go on a bigger time frame. Now I've retraced up to this daily, and you've got some resting buy side in here. Now I could potentially be bearish here, just the fact that, well, ES first of all has relative equal lows below, although we do have an SMT. Just basing off bigger time frame. I just want to work out what's going on bigger time frame. 4 hour, obviously we had this change in state, but now it's completely different. This change in state is no longer valid. Now we're up at this daily and swipe this high. It is if you're taking positions in relationship to this model up to this buy side, but it's not necessarily important in terms of going into tomorrow and the day after. Because in my head now we've swiped this buy side in a daily fair value gap, right? On a bigger time frame, you know, we're heading lower. We've respected this, we've come down. SMT, yeah, this SMT could just be a rebalance though, we don't know. Just because we're having manipulation on a bigger time frame at the lows doesn't necessarily mean we're just going to pump to all-time highs again. So in this daily, buy side's been swept. So what I'm looking for firstly is, this should be my 4 hour change in state, to then go seek this sell side. And partnered with that, we have this nice 4 hour fair value gap. So it's fractal to the, you know, we can have just half a buy model up to here. We don't have to complete it. Or, you know, we come back, rebalance it, maybe sweep something and then complete it. Like, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm just preparing myself for what could happen the best I can. And not carrying biases over from different days and just looking at it fresh and just literally looking at what the data's given me. Daily fair value gap, buy side been taken, nice 4 hour created, this would be my 4 hour change in state. Let's mark in open my 2 trading slots. Create a high. On a smaller time frame, sort of on the hourly, there's nothing really here. This is just nothing. I need way more structure for this. I don't know if we want to come up and swipe this buy side before heading lower. The 4 hour looks, in my opinion, cleaner than the 1 hour. We obviously ran through this hourly here. Some people might say this is changing state at these lows here. The reason it's not is because that would be down here. This part is not any more manipulation than this part. Equally, there's nowhere where it stopped and started to have a downwards trend before going up. This is all bullish candle closes. So the change in state actually aligns with this 4 hour as well. So yeah, let's check ES now. ES pretty much same thing. Here's our high. Here's our high. One thing I'm really focusing on is, which is didn't actually show to be true in my first trade in London, but I'm just trying to protect my capital here and just build and scale into something. This is actually a daily. So here's buy side swept. Same thing here for ES, pretty much the exact same model I'll be looking for. 4 hour fair value gap. Do we want to respect this daily? Respect this sweep? Have a 4 hour close, 4 hour change in state? Potentially putting back to this 4 hour, bouncing off, coming back up, and then coming lower. Or, you know, do we want to complete this buy model and come up to this high? If so, I expect this to be a wick into this and then continue higher. I don't expect us to get a change in state. Interestingly enough as well, there's a 4 hour on Q as well. And if we break through all of this, then we're heading to this low and potentially this low as well. But I might not. This is necessarily not going to happen tomorrow. This could happen throughout the week. Just zooming in here. Those are these relative equal lows that fucking scuffed me. Just going to draw that in. We obviously have this hourly here as well, aligned with the 4 hour. And on NQ, that's sell side. Right, it's a pretty long video, or a longer video than I would normally do. But yeah, getting back into journaling thoroughly. Yeah, just gotta focus on longevity and making sure that I'm doing everything I need to be doing, and the habits are in place to protect me. But yeah, no, I need to. If you're watching this and you're a trader and you're funded, or you're not funded or trying to get funded, drop me a DM on Instagram, or like, I don't know, message me on this or on Twitter or anything, and get in contact. Like, let's network. Let's get a bit active in this trading space, especially for 2025. Like, let's build something. I'm actively looking for people to, not necessarily trade with or take trades, but just, be in agreement with what we're looking for with our different communities and where we want to go. Alright, I think that's everything covered that I wanted to cover. Yeah, if we hold this 4 hour here, let me just put in my 8, 2 is there. Yeah, so we'll see what tomorrow brings. I'll be up trading at 8, and yeah, that's everything complete. See you tomorrow. Also, today was a No News Monday, so like, in terms of trading, I hope to see better PA in the coming days. But yeah, peace.